Tourist season for the warmer months is coming to an end. Mackinac Island sees the effects that tourists bring to the island and notices the differences when they're gone. Ansley Watson had the opportunity to talk with the Tourism Bureau to get a closer look at the impact the visitors bring. She gives us a preview of what we discussed throughout the morning.
During the warmer months, people travel to Mackinac Island for a full experience. They ride the bicycles around the island, they ride on the carriage tours, and of course, eat some incredible fudge. But what does the island look like when the seasons start to turn? We'll talk about that later in the hour. Stay with us. Reporting on Mackinac Island, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, thanks a lot, Ansley. Of course, this is just the first part of 3 on a special report of different aspects of Mackinac Island. And as you may have noticed, a little brighter and less rainy in Mackinac Island it was for Ansley there.
Right.
Welcome back. Well, Mackinac Island had a successful summer due to tourists visiting from all over the world. Ansley Watson spoke with the Tourism Bureau to see just what the summer of 2016 meant for them.
2016 was a great summer here on Mackinac Island, and to help talk to me about that is Tim High, and you're the Executive Director for Tourism on Mackinac Island. Thank you for being with me this morning.
Well, thanks for coming and talking about what a great time we had here on the island in summer.
No problem. So kind of start out with, when does the tourist season start?
Well, it starts, it never ends, but it really kicks into gear in May. And then we are open big time for the 6 months between May and Halloween. And then after that, we have some interesting times when people love to come to visit when there's hardly anybody else here. But that's a whole nother story. We're here to talk about what really drives people to the island, and that's summertime.
Is there a certain audience who comes here? People from different countries? Is it people from all over the nation who comes here?
We are an international destination, and we can see that growing more and more every year, especially as Travel Michigan and the Pure Michigan commercials expand into the UK, into Germany, and eventually into China. We're getting a lot more people from the UK, a lot more people from Germany, and the international flavor of the island grows by the year.
Now, obviously, you're marketing to people. You have so many, you have the fudge here, you have the carriage rides. What do you want people, when they come here, what do they want to experience?
Well, and that's what it is. We are not selling these things individually as items, but we are selling an experience. And it could be a family reunion. It could be a wedding. It could be just I just need to relax. I need to unplug. And you know the feeling when you come onto the island and you don't hear any automobiles, and you hear the clip-clop of horses, and you hear the geese that are behind us right now, just perfectly timed. It's just a sense of relaxation like no other.
What are some of the comments you hear from people who've never been here before? It is a completely different world.
They can't believe there are no automobiles. I think that's the biggest thing. And then they say, how big are those horses? Because the workhorses here are very big. And those are some of them, and they love the bridge. I love to take the boat with them in the morning, especially, and they get excited, and you see all the little, the mobile phones come out, and they start taking pictures of the bridge. And as we're coming across the Straits of Mackinac, and they see Grand Hotel, and they all get up again, and they just want to take pictures of that, and they're just so excited. That's the great thing about working here, is you get to see people really enjoying themselves. When you go on vacation, you don't always have a smile on your face, but when you come to Mackinac Island, you normally have a smile on your face.
Now, on an economic standpoint, the businesses thrive off of the summer and spring months. Does that carry them through the winter months?
Yes, for the most part, absolutely. The island does roughly $180 million in that 6-month period just for tourism. And so it's a good formula. We know when we're going to open, we know when we're going to close, and that's a pretty good economic formula as far as forecasting and budgeting your money.
Well, obviously we're coming into the fall months now. Tourism's probably dwindling down a little bit. The island changes a little bit during the winter months.
It does change. In fact, this time of year is absolutely gorgeous. In about a day or two, the leaves are just going to be absolutely phenomenal. And then when we get into the Christmas season, people will come for our Christmas bazaar, and we have just 3 different lodging facilities that stay open year-round. But people love to come here for New Year's. We'll have a 4th lodging facility open for that. New Year's is a great tradition on Mackinac Island. And then, once the snow arrives, and there's no one else around, it's a great time to come visit. You fly in from St. Ignace. It's only 7 minutes to get here. And then a horse driven carriage comes to pick you up at the airport, and you go through from the airport down into town, and it just looks like the area's never been touched before. Anyone's ever come before you. And it's just an incredibly serene feeling.
We'll talk about that later in the hour. Stay with us. Reporting on Mackinac Island, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, thanks a lot, Ansley. Looks too pretty to be real.
Yes, especially for today, as we're hearing the rain.
Welcome back. Ansley Watson joins us again at the Tourism Bureau on Mackinac Island to see what life's like after the tourists leave for the season. We have more with Ansley Watson right now.
As you can see behind me, a whole bunch of people still here on Mackinac Island, but just in a few weeks, the island's going to be looking a little bit more desolate. To talk to me more about that is Tim High, and he's the Executive Director for Tourism here on Mackinac Island. Tim, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Well, thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. And I think desolate's a pretty good word.
Good.
Because it does change. It's dramatic between what the summer looks like and even the fall, what it looks like compared to the winter time.
And that's why when people think of Mackinac Island, obviously they think of the summer times, the nice months when there's so many people here. I want to focus on when those people, the tourists, leave. What is life like here?
It's incredible. It's so peaceful and it's so pristine. Well, you'll see a hockey tournament just open up in downtown Mackinac Island. Like where we are right now, you will see definitely hockey action, street hockey action. It's just hilarious. We do keep 18 horses on the island winter long, so you have taxis throughout the entire season. But we talked about it a little earlier, but it's when that snow comes and the island just gets covered. And then it looks, so many areas of the island just are untouched. And so you get to go through, you can snowshoe, you can fat tire bike, you can cross-country ski, you can just hike. It's just incredible what you can do, and you feel like you're in a world all by yourself.
And how big's the community?
The community, about 500 people stay here year-round. And with the elementary school, you have about 75 kids in there from kindergarten through 12. And they're playing sports throughout the season on and off the island. They take the airplane or the ferry, whatever's working at the time. And it's a small community. We have a couple of restaurants that stay open. We have Dow's grocery store that remains open, and just 3 lodging facilities. So it does quiet down quite a bit.
It seems it's got to be such a different lifestyle. I mean, you said that you could focus on being an islander, or you could focus being on tourists, or the different mindsets, I guess, is what I want to talk more about.
Yeah, there is, because, you know, the people that have been on this island for a long time, there are a lot of families that have been here for an awful long time. And so they are the backbone of this island, and it's nice that they are able to share it with about 1 million people that come through every season. So there is a different mindset. So, and in the wintertime, it's a time to rest and relax and recharge for not only for the people that work here, but the people that own here and the people that are here year-round.
Is it hard to get around in the wintertime then? I mean, I heard snowmobiles is what you use.
No, it's so great. The snowmobiles are so much fun. And you can go to so many places on them, and you can see trails that maybe you didn't see during the summertime. And they look so different in the wintertime, as you know, from anywhere. But it's easy to get around.
What do the numbers look like tourism-wise from the past to now? More people more interested in coming to the island?
Oh, absolutely. We started this convention bureau in 2011, and since then, the first year we did $43 million in room revenue, and this year we'll do $62 million in room revenue. So just in a 5-year span, it has grown dramatically.
And the restaurants, just little tourist shops, how do they do? What does it look like for them?
Well, we don't get actual numbers, so we have to use anecdotal information, and the island is healthy.
Great. Well, Tim, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, we're just thankful. We're just, you know, it's our turn to take care of the place at this time. It's our turn to take care of the island, and just so fortunate to be here. We're just glad that we can be a welcoming and a representative place for the state of Michigan.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you for coming.
No problem. Reporting on Mackinac Island, Ansley Watson, and we'll be back with more of your TV6 Morning News after the break.